Hey friends. All right, welcome to week 3 of our spring refresh. So glad that you guys are here, that you are taking time out of your night, or maybe you're listening to the replay the next day and you're taking time to listen to this. So that is a great thing to do because you're nourishing your mind just by being here. You are not here by accident, whether you've been with us since week 1 or you're just jumping in. This is your space to feel supported, to feel inspired, and to feel refreshed by the time you leave after this workshop. I can't believe we're already 3 weeks in. Stay with me live to get entered into our weekly drawing. Got fun prizes headed your way just for showing up for yourself. So, this week is all about nourishment. Not just food, but how we fuel our bodies and our minds for energy, focus, and a calm inside a really noisy world. There's so much noise. I was just talking to a friend, I was talking to my friend Laura today about this. So much noise in our world. And maybe you have this little secret nudge that something needs to change, that you just want more in your life. Maybe you're here because you feel stuck or you're functioning on autopilot. Maybe you just want to feel alive again. And you know what? This is a really quiet crisis among many people, especially women. You might be a woman who is in college or you're just starting out. You might be a young mom trying to really hold it all together. You might be like me, where you're in a season of midlife, near empty nest. Oh gosh. Near empty nest, changing hormones, have aging parents, or maybe you're in a season where you do have an empty nest and you are dealing with aging parents. And no matter what season you are in, you just might wonder, what is left for me, or what's next for me? What does this life still have for me? You might feel the weight of the world on your shoulders and you just want more, but feel guilty. Does anyone feel guilty for even thinking that at times? Because maybe on paper your life looks pretty dang good. But I'm here to tell you that you are actually made for more. God knows you're capable of more. And it all starts with our thoughts. If you've been around me at all, you know I talk a lot about our thoughts and our feelings. And to some of you, it might be like, well, whatever. But just stay with me, okay? Just stay with me. Our thoughts will either help you or they'll hurt you and keep you stuck for decades if you let it. I'm going to tell you my story in just a little bit, but you are not your thoughts. You are not your thoughts. You are the thinker of your thoughts. And we're going to dig into that. Are you guys ready? Say hi in the chat. Let me know you're here. There's Leanna and Bill, Canada. Leanna, empty nester here, and an elderly dad. Yes. Tough season. Very tough season. So let's dig in to the mental side of things. And because honestly, we can eat all the leafy greens and drink all the water, but if our mindset is stressed, if we're distracted, if we're just feeling or negative, our energy is still gonna feel drained, no matter how healthy we eat, no matter how many supplements we take. Right? Anybody feel that? So tell me in the chat, on a scale of 1 to 5, how stressed are you today? 1, not much at all. 5, pretty maxed out. So I talk a lot about our thoughts and the power of them over our life. I said it earlier and I'll say it again. You are not your thoughts. You are the thinker of your thoughts. So years ago, let me share this story with you. Years ago, I was going through life. I was on autopilot. I was a dance teacher, running a very successful busy dance studio, just giving and giving to everybody else. I was the only dance teacher, and I taught 19 classes a week. I was missing out on my kids at night. I felt extreme mom guilt for 12 years. That's a long time, right? And I honestly was around our kids. I felt really grateful the time that they were little and I could be home with them. But then when they started school, it's like my dance classes started at 3 o'clock and my kids were just getting home. So that's where the mom guilt came in. Before that, it felt like it was working really well. So, and then also, let's just throw this in here too. Because my birth father had nothing to do with me, I had told myself a story for so many years, and the story was, I am not enough. I'm not enough. Everything I did for so many years, I felt I was never good enough, or I wasn't simply enough, right? Even when my mom remarried and my dad adopted me, I still felt like I always had to overperform, or like I just, no matter what I did, even like no matter how famous I would get, it just might not be enough. And I'll tell you what, my mom and my dad who adopted me, my dad who raised me, never did something or said something that made me feel that way, but it came from way back, even further back from my birth dad. So you guys, can anyone relate to this? Not feeling enough? Or what is the thought for you that you've held on to for years? Hopefully you guys can hear me. Hopefully I'm talking loud enough. But I had no idea how that thought was keeping me stuck. I had no idea the power and the hold that it had on me. And I truly believe that the enemy that comes to steal and destroy used that thought for so many years to keep me from doing what I was really also meant to do. I was meant to have my dance studio. It was a blessing for many years, but I've also been meant for more. And the enemy can have these sneaky ways of like keeping you stuck. So I just thought this was my life. I should be happy because I've got great kids and a great husband and life. Things are clicking along and I should be fulfilled. But yet I was really, really yearning for more. I had never learned how to process my thoughts. Back then, it was like, what? I had no idea, let alone how to change my thoughts or to change outcomes. And I didn't even know they were connected. But once I got into life coaching, all of that changed. I saw how my not enough thought was definitely not serving me. It was keeping me stuck. It was a chain I needed to break, breaking the chains. I started learning how powerful my thoughts really were, and I started shifting my thoughts to things like this. Things like, I'm not behind. What if my best days are ahead of me? I am enough. That's a big one. I have dreams that matter to me. I was made for more than just living in survival mode. And you guys, I unburied things that got shoved so far down. I unburied them and I began to have hope again. I started doing things like, I ended up closing my dance studio. I started my wellness business, and now coaching and life, what I learned in life coaching and how it changed my life. I am a life coach and coaching other women who are ready for more in this life too. I feel joy and I feel purpose again. And I started changing that with one thought and just kind of going from there. So you guys, it's like small steps at a time. I feel like a better mom, a better wife, a better friend. And I am and always will be a work in progress. But when you have the tools and you have God, you can create a life with more joy and more feeling of purpose and more fulfillment. And who doesn't want that? Type a yes in the comments if that is what you want. We all want that, but we just don't know sometimes how to get it. And so if you have been, I hope you enjoyed that part of my story. I've never shared that part of my life to anyone, just so you know. Even some of my closest friends don't know that part of me. So if you've been on some of my workshops, this will be familiar to you. But if not, I want to introduce you to something from life coaching that I teach in my Bridge to Abundance program, and it is called the Thought Model. Okay, so I'm going to show you on this little board that I've got. All right, hopefully you guys can see this. It's kind of a different way than it usually is, but hopefully you can see this. So we always have this circumstance, right? And it's something that happens. It's that one event or one thing, or somebody says something to you that creates a thought. You have a thought about what happened, right? And the thought that you think is really becoming that story. It's like that story that I told myself because my biological father had nothing to do with me growing up. My thought about that was that I'm not enough, right? And so that became a lot of my story for a lot of years till I broke the chain. But whatever the circumstances that you can think of, I bet you can think of one right now. You can put it in the chat. Something happened or someone did something. It created a thought. You have a thought about that. And because of that thought that you think fuels your feelings. And it might be a couple different feelings. And I know a lot of times we don't actually think about how do I feel about that. Sometimes we just stuff our feelings down and just keep going. We don't even stop long enough to think. This is stop. Let's think this through. You have something that happened that created a thought about that. That thought that you think creates a feeling, and that feeling drives your actions. And it drives your actions or non-action, which gets you your results. So this right here is my Bridge to Abundance thought model. And a lot of coaches use this thought model. It's what I learned by and what you can practice. And it takes practice. Just like anything. If you start to go to the gym and you want to get muscles, it's going to take time. You have to practice. You have to keep flexing those muscles. And it's just like this when you learn how to change your results by changing your thought and your feeling around certain things in life. It's going to take time to get into that practice and make it a habit. And a lot of people, like I said earlier, don't stop long enough to even think about what's happening. But when you do, this will change your life. So here's an example, okay? So an example would be if your thought is, I never stick to anything, okay? So the thought on the top would be, I never stick to anything, which creates a feeling of discouragement. You probably won't show up consistently, right? So that's your action, which confirms the results of not sticking with anything. Does that make sense? Give me a high five in the comments if this makes sense. But you're probably wondering, okay, well, how do I shift my thought? First, recognizing what you're actually thinking, feeling, and doing. That's the first step. The second step is asking yourself, how could I change that thought? That circumstance is always the same. But how can I shift that from I never stick to anything? Let me try to just have a different thought. Maybe it's I'm learning to take care of myself consistently. So do you notice I'm not going from I never stick to anything to I always stick to everything. That's not realistic. And your brain will know that, and your brain will be like, we'll call the bluff on it. It'll be like, whatever. But if we can go from I never stick to anything to now I'm going to choose the thought of I'm learning to take care of myself consistently. That creates a feeling of encouraging. That's a feeling of encouraging, which then you take better care of yourself. That's the action. And you become the person who sticks with it. Right? Does that make sense? Drop a yes if that shift hit you right now. Leanna's giving some hands. Yeah. Yes, yes, yes. All right. So that's what I wanted to talk about with nourishing your mind. And we can obviously go a lot deeper in that. If you need help with that, you can definitely just type the word coaching in the comments and I'll get you my schedule and we'll schedule a free coaching call. But now I want to talk about nourishing your body, Okay, so let's move to like the physical part of nourishment. And true nourishment isn't about dieting, it's not about restriction, it's about giving your body what it actually needs to thrive. So think about this. What does your body need to thrive? Protein, right? Protein for strength, especially if, well, I think at any age, but boy, oh boy, if you're in midlife, um, if Bon Jovi poster was on your bedroom as a teenager, then you need a lot more protein than you thought. Okay. So also blood sugar balance. All right. Fiber. We need fiber to support our digestion, and we need to be focusing on our gut health. Samantha, you are on. You're gonna have to go watch the first part of this, girl, because it was powerful. I was talking about different things with our mindset, so have to go back. Yeah, Leanna's totally laughing because she had John Bon Jovi poster up in her room. Okay, anyway, we're back on track. Nourishment for our body, right? Protein for strength, blood sugar balance. We need fiber to support our digestion. We need to take care of our gut health. We also need, what else do we need? Put it in the chat. What other nourishment do we need? I can think of hydration, keeping ourselves hydrated so we have energy, so we can detox stuff out. We detox stuff out through pee, poop, and sweat, right? We need nourishment, things like minerals, right? Macronutrients for feeling calm and also supporting these amazing hormones that we have, right? One thing I personally love is, and many of you use this too, is our body balancing drink Slim. This little stick here, this magic stick. It helps with gut health, blood sugar balance, and energy naturally. And then we also have some capsules of our Probio 5, which breaks down the bad bacteria in our gut, so there we're taking care of our gut health. It has digestive enzymes, antifungal. It breaks the shell of candida in half and breaks it down so that you can thrive with your immune system, your mood, your energy, your sleep, all those things. So many things are tied to our gut health. And then we have a Bio Cleanse, which is a tablet too, or capsule. And that, I think of that as like a dump truck coming in, and all the things that Probio 5 broke down, Bio Cleanse is going to pull it all out. Right? Kind of helps with that. So it's one simple habit that I love that makes me feel really good from the inside out. Who here drinks our body balancing drink already? Tell us in the comments what it has helped you with. Has it helped you with bloat, energy, other things? Let us know. Okay, so I want to pause for a minute and I want to ask you a couple questions. If you want to share these in the comments, that would be awesome. And by the way, those of you that are on live, if you're commenting, you're being active here, your name goes into my drawing right after this call for a prize. So, all right. So I want you to think about this. What am I feeding my mind? And what am I feeding my body each day? If you can think of something in the share it in the chat. Okay, so here's some things to sort of think about as I'm wrapping this up. We're almost done. Are you consuming stress all day? Are you consuming stress all day long? Or are you consuming peace? Are you aware of your thoughts? Or are you just going through the day and landing into the day when your feet hit the ground in the morning? Or are you aware of your thoughts? I want you to ask yourself, Leanna says the Bible. And Leanna shared that the pink drink has helped her thyroid and her weight, discomfort. Oh, I can't see ... There's probably more there. I want to ask you this. Are you skipping meals? Or nourishing yourself with what truly fuels you? So let's talk about this just a little bit. If you're consuming stress all day long, the news, social media, negativity, you can choose something else, right? Turn on your Christian music, turn on some 80s jam, whatever it is that you love to listen to. A great podcast that's positive. If you're skipping your meals, I gotta say this. Sometimes skipping meals, your body will actually hold on and store fat because it thinks it's in starvation mode. I used to do that, and that's what happened to me. So, are your meals truly nourishing you? Okay. Bill says whole foods, peace and harmony. Usually pretty chill. Pink drink helped weight loss, blood glucose balance, eliminated inflammation and joint pain. I got to tell you guys, Bill has an amazing testimony. His wife, Leanna, and him met through Plexus. They have an amazing love story. Love those two. Love you too. Yes, Jessica Heffley has a podcast. Yes, that's awesome. Great positivity there. So let's talk about this. What's one small upgrade you can give yourself this week? One small upgrade. Maybe a coaching call session to help get you on track, break some chains, get you free. Maybe it's being aware of processed foods that you need to cut out. How about, we're just talking small things and I'm just giving ideas. How about, adding in a walk? Where do you like to walk? What makes you feel peaceful? I'll tell you what, a walk by the ocean, it makes me feel so close to God. It makes me feel so peaceful, and we live so far away from it. Anyways, I can walk in the hills. I can go walking by beautiful waterfalls. But if I don't have time to do that, I can walk out up the hill, and I feel just as amazing. So the benefits of outdoors and, just even take your shoes off. You can walk outside and take your shoes off and just sit in the grass and get some grounding in. Oh my gosh, it's so good for you. If you're outside and you're gardening, just think, oh my gosh, I should take my shoes off. Just let my feet hit the dirt. What about adding a nourishing breakfast? Again, these are just ideas for one small upgrade that you can give yourself this week. And I want you to put in the comments today, right now when you're listening to this, what is one small upgrade you will give yourself this week for your mind and another one for your body? Another idea is adding a nourishing breakfast. So I love overnight oats. Here's what I do for overnight oats. It's a fourth a cup of oatmeal, a scoop of our Plexus Lean chocolate protein, some cinnamon, some flaxseed, 2 spoons of yogurt, some almond milk, and I add in organic berries. I let it sit overnight, and oh my God, I enjoy it in the morning. It's so good. My daughter Grace got me started on that. So another idea would be just taking 5 minutes to read. Maybe it's the Bible, maybe it's a journal, maybe it's a gratitude book, taking time to pray. So those are just some easy, small upgrades. So again, share in the comments, one small upgrade you're going to give yourself this week for your mind and your body. And remember, you don't need to overhaul everything. Just start small. Small things become big shifts over time. So, okay. What did Leanna say? Entire island is completely surrounded by beaches. Oh, you guys are so lucky. I know, I see you in your videos. One upgrade for my mind. Catch up on all Zooms I missed. Is that, Leanna, going to really be refreshing for your mind? Is that going to nourish your mind when you're catching up on all the Zooms you've missed? Think about that. Tell me in the comments. Because we are nourishing our mind. Will that overwhelm you? Just something to think about. All right, so we're wrapping this up. Choose one way to better nourish your mind, your body this week. You can journal, the Bridge to Abundance thought model. Actually sit down and just have a tablet and start getting in the habit of a thought that comes up, which creates your feelings, and that feeling fuels your actions, right? And then you can do it on another column where you choose a different thought, and you can kind of just journal that out and then put it to work, right? So remember, you don't have, yeah, I know FOMO's real, but we're talking nourishing. So I don't know. Getting on a lot of Zooms for me would not nourish my mind. Depends on what they're about. So remember, you don't have to keep telling yourself that same story. You can become a conscious, aware person, take control of them. You can train your brain to become, the future self that you want to be. And I keep looking down her comments. And you're not your past. You are not your past. So stop looking back there. Give yourself grace to grow and to change. And again, this doesn't happen overnight. Ask God to really guide you and help you, okay? Just be patient with the process. So this week, I want you to share a photo in the lounge, share a meal, share a moment, share a thought in the group to inspire others. This is not a workshop just for me. This is a workshop for you guys. This is why I'm here this month, why I'm showing up every single week. And if you're going to change and you want to create more joy and purpose in your life, doing these things is going to do that. Okay? And I want to see you guys encouraging and inspiring each other, right? So we have a journal prompt. In the past 2 weeks, I've shared one graphic with all the journal prompts for the week. This week, I'm changing it up. I'm doing it different. So there is one journal prompt that will be posted every single day at 8 in the morning, Mountain Time. And the journal prompt for today is already up. That is just a little prompt to get you started on writing and journaling something and thinking about something that has to do with this exact theme for the entire week. You'll have a different journal prompt every day at 8 a.m. And your affirmation is already posted to the group, so you can save that affirmation. Again, like write it on a sticky note, put it on your mirror, put it in your car, put it by your desk. The affirmation this week is, I nourish my body and mind with love, presence, and purpose. I nourish my body and mind with love, presence, and purpose. Okay? So I'll be checking in throughout the week. Tag me and share anything that you want in the comments. I love seeing your journeys. And the journal prompt for today is, what does nourishment mean to me right now in my body and in my mind? Just, you could go journal that in private. And every single day, look for a brand new journal prompt, okay? So that's what I have for you for tonight. I hope that this blessed you all. Tag your friends who are here, and Facebook just keeps this for 30 days, but I'll be recording it onto my YouTube channel, and I'll be sharing it here. So I would love to hear what landed for you. What are you going to be doing this week? And you know what? God bless. I know you can do it. I believe in you. I am a work in progress. We are all a work in progress, but if we have the right tools and we can put them to work, we can do so many amazing things. God bless everybody. High five. Bye-bye.